sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Please consider subscribing to the channel. If you like the way any of the information is being broken down, discussed, previewed, talked about, analyzed, complained about, whined about, whatever you think, if you dig it, hit that like button before you get out of here. And I would be interested in anybody's opinions on any of this stuff. Uh, Personally, my sports world was rocked last night. In the last few days, the announcement that the Washington football team is moving forward as the Washington Commanders. Not a big fan of the nickname. And then also, there's talks or reports that Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh could be heading to the Minnesota Vikings. Uh, the same season after, living up to his paycheck and to the expectations for 1 year. And really just not leaving the program, potentially not leaving the program in a good place. Somebody just sent me I don't know what that's about. And then this Brian Flores lawsuit against the NFL. What is this woman talking about? Okay. The Commanders situation. Salute to the people who who really have this half glass full mentality. Congratulations. The people that like the name, congratulations. Me as a huge sports apparel guy for the last, ever since I've been working, and even when I was asking for gifts as a kid, somebody is really texting me something right now. But going back to the hip hop days and how different MCs have always worn all kind of fitted caps and jerseys and coats, jackets, the starter jackets, all of this stuff for years. Looking at it kind of from that perspective, I'm just not a fan of the name. I as an avid, a Washington Redskins or a football team fan for over 30, 35 years. At no point in time, just my sense of style, my sense of fashion, and what's hot, what's pops as a logo, I will have nothing to do with Commanders across the front of my fitted cap. I just that just doesn't appeal to me. I think there could have been a compromise. Okay, if that's the name that you go with, then can we get a logo that where I don't have to have? I mean, if you look at the mouthful that the Washington Commanders is, and how much space, what kind of footprint, all of that occupies on your cap or across your sweatshirt, your hoodie, that's a lot. It's too much. It's busy. So, could there be a logo? Could there have been a logo that was rolled out with this that brought it all together, and it was slick? The W that they have kept is kind of like a derivative of the W that they had last year. I mean, it's just got a couple lines in the W to give it more of a stencil feel from the armed forces. But it's like nothing imaginative about that. It's nothing really. It's not like Washington's font. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's something we created and now own. We've seen something like that forever. Like it's just general for me. Another thing is with this whole commander thing, like the commander is not even the highest ranking officer. What does a commander do? If you wanted to go make a figure or a mascot or whatever, what does a commander even do? Like, to me, it's just really limited and short-sighted. Honestly, when I saw a few weeks ago that admirals was in play, me being a former Navy guy, I really wasn't that hateful of admiral because it is the top position. So yeah, and honestly, there the again there aren't many syllable names in the NFL. This is probably one of the sillier points, but there aren't many three-syllable names. You had the Buccaneers, you have the Cardinals, Jaguars, depending on how you break that one up. Jaguars. Some people that want to be really proper with it. And like I said, just the length of the word, just it's not sleek and compact to me. And if you give me I was talking to a partner earlier. The old Patriot that was snapping the ball. I could rock with that. The new Patriot head, I could rock with that. For a commander, like I said, what would be the action shot or the action pose of a commander at a desk on a radio or yelling? It doesn't really play for me. Could they have done a W and a C in some? I don't know, man. They just didn't give me a lot to work with. The uniforms themselves, in my opinion, I don't know, man. They keep the red, they keep the burgundy and the gold. I don't know, man. Maybe maybe the black uniform will stand out to me at some point in time. Whatever. At the end of the day, I think what's a little disappointing, despite some of the conversations, in the comments that I exchanged on Instagram on the team page. I was hoping that this marked that the name change kind of like really marked a new direction, and that things and decisions would be made on a high level, a lot of thought, and constantly building towards something. And I don't think this name is representative of the people or what the people wanted, what the fans wanted. You point to something like the Steelers. That's the people that made up that region, that made up that city at the particular time. The Packers. That was something that represented the people of of that place at the time. The Browns, I mean, it was the Brown family, and that the football came from them basically. The Patriots. That's the people in that area. The Commanders. That's not the people of DC. That's not the common folk of DC. And then lastly, if you want to point to the commander in chief, seriously, like the approval ratings of most sitting presidents, when is nobody, damn near 2/3 of the people at any given time don't even care for the commander in chief. So I don't know, man. I'm a little disappointed. I thought there were 5 to 6 different names. I know they mentioned that some of those they ran into trouble with some copyright, or getting a copyright for it, marketing and whatnot. I get it. But I think there were 5 or 6 different names that were out there that at least 65 to 75% of the people could have been excited about today. Whereas I feel like today, we just have a lot of people. You do have a lot of people that are completely upset, completely turned off. I'm not completely turned off. I'm just of the opinion that I'm just not going. I've been waiting to buy some team apparel. I've been waiting to buy some stuff for like 8 years now. I quit buying the Redskins gear because I really wasn't comfortable with what the Redskins said about me or how other people were responding to it depending on what room I was in. So I really was looking forward to a name that was just universal. And that was slick. It was dope. It was something for me to get behind. For me, I'm not going to be a person that's part of 10,000 people in Commanders across my fitted cap in block letters with some kind of triple color scheme on it That's just not me. I think I got a little more flavor to me than that. I'm sorry. Again, I don't know if they can put together some kind of logo or a figure of some kind. I mean, give me a sniper, the silhouette of a sniper or some, but that ain't really a commander. Like I said, what the hell does a commander do? What is the action shot of a commander commanding? I don't know, man. It's short-sighted for me. So it is what it is. Again, I think this is something that it sounds like it's something that the team president and the owner, Daniel Snyder, who has ran the team into the ground at this point. I saw 4 or 5 because I live out of market. I live out of state. I saw 4 or 5 games this year, and whenever they level shot and the camera would show up into the upper bowl, all you saw was empty seats for all 4 or 5 of those games. Like, at one point in time, it was the national game. It was the only game that was on. They were on a 4-game winning streak, maybe the longest one in the league at that particular time. They needed that victory to get into first place or get within a game of first place, I think. And it was a pivotal moment for the franchise. And you look up in the damn stadium and it's empty. So, like I said, this name, in my opinion, this name is not for the people of DC. It's not for the fans across the country who have rocked with the franchise. It's not us. It's not for us. This is a small group of people that said this is what they wanted to do, and we're gonna make it fit. And it is what it is. So anyway, I guess they tried to soften this a little bit with talking about a big splash and trying to go after Russell Wilson. He's a Virginia kid, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. Brian Flores, former coach of the Miami Dolphins, has went out here with a lawsuit. I saw he was on one of the morning shows earlier. Hey, salute to that man for having the principles that he has. Reading into some of the details, the 2019, I believe, interview with the Denver Broncos, where he says that John Elway came into the interview. I think he was late, maybe an hour late or something was what I thought one of the details. But I know it said that he was disheveled and hungover after a night of heavy drinking. And then the hilarious thing here, because right now it's tough for any mention of old white men or older white men. That's a tough category to be in right now. But here we are. All of this stuff is getting ready to hit the fan because Bill Belichick screwed up who he was texting, who he was sending a text message to. And now that's going to be at the center of this whole argument about the hiring practices, the firing, the ways that black coaches are fired and dealt with, and the discriminatory practices in the hiring practices of NFL teams. And it's all because Bill Belichick, who's not even involved with any of the teams that were conducting the interviews, but he thought he was responding to his former coach, Mike Dable, who is now the head coach of the New York Giants. He thought he was sending it to him, and he actually sent it to Brian Flores. And Brian Flores responds, he sends him back a text message like, was this meant for me? And Bill Belichick, he didn't even have the sense to go dead on it or just be like, my bad, or just don't even reply. He goes and jumps all the way in the flames and says, hey, I really effed this up. I'm sorry. I was basically trying to send this to Dable. And anyway, by the way, from what I understand, New York Giants and from talking to Buffalo, they want him. That's their guy. And when according to this lawsuit, when Flores received this text message and this confirmation, I mean, I know you would say that because of our conversation. And like I said, I started this. Salute to that brother for having the principles that he has. But as a 41-year-old man, I just see his professional career as being dead. And, maybe this stand was worth it for him. We've seen David go up against a Goliath before. We saw Kaepernick go up against the machine or the system. Didn't work out for him. I just happen to think that Flores would be way more impactful coaching and leading a team, whether however he gets it. I think it would be way more impactful for the whole community if he was coaching a team versus being the winner of this lawsuit. I think it brings an end to his career. And I think he was a dude who probably could have went out here and maybe at some point in time could have led a team to a Super Bowl. And I think, to go this route, again, hell of a man. But at the end of the day, you might be left holding, you just might be on the right side of history, but there's nothing else for you to go do because you went against the machine. Then the other situation here, besides the Elway interview, which I believe in that same year, he actually got selected to be the Miami Dolphins coach. So, you didn't get that job, but you did get a job. But this situation, this snafu with Bill Belichick, letting the cat out the bag with the Giants situation. Then we go back to his 2 years in Miami when team owner Stephen Ross wants to give him $100,000 to lose games. And, he stood his ground. He's like, nah, I'm not doing that. Because if I do lose games, you're going to use this against me when it's time to get me out of here when you draft a player that you think is going to be the cornerstone of the team. And then you're going to look at me with my win-loss record and you're going to justify getting rid of me. Nah, I ain't doing that. And so I respect him for that too. But what the other thing that's crazy here is allegedly he was brought out to the yacht. All this stuff always goes down on the yacht. But they bring him to the yacht and they've organized or orchestrated a meeting with a quarterback that they didn't name. I'm assuming it's Deshaun Watson. But they're going to orchestrate this accidental meeting between head coach and potential quarterback. We want you to meet with the guy and recruiting and see how we can make this work. And he said, nah, that's tampering. I don't want to be a part of any tampering. I just want to do my job. I just want to coach. We have to talk offline. You kind of seem to be on this kick with these really great things, and that's cool. Fine. I just, as us everyday people, it's cool to be on the sideline rooting for this person to take a stand, but what stand are we willing to take? Because I tell you, I was in the same situation back, at a point in time. I had an interview, one of many, for a job that I should have been able to do. And one of the people in the interview, same like Elway, this cat showed up late to the meeting, to the interview, came in with a bag of chips and a Subway sandwich, a messy ass sandwich, ripping open a bag of chips as we get into doing the interview. And I'm sitting here trying to move forward in my career professionally after multiple interviews for this same job. And I sit here and I'm answering questions over a person that's shoving chips and shit into his mouth and has shit all on his fingers when we supposed to shake hands. And I already know, as a man sitting here, I already know what's going on. But I go here being a professional, finish the interview, do my thing, knock it out. And of course I didn't get the job. But then when they came to the feedback, this same person who disrespected me and offended me in this interview session, he comes and finds me to give me the feedback of why I didn't get the job. And he said, well, do you want any feedback? And I said, respectfully, bruh, I'm going to continue working. Have a nice day. I don't need any feedback. I'm good. I know what I did wrong. Now I've already crossed the line there because I'm showing you it's gonna be labeled that Reggie is disgruntled. We never consider him for nothing else because he's a disgruntled employee. So was I supposed to file a lawsuit? Was I supposed to go do EEOC? Was I supposed to quit that day? What did I do that was so monumental? Now for me, I never interviewed for another job in that building again. I was like, I'll never sit in here and take this process serious again. And the next thing came up, and I moved on within a year or so. So I understand completely what he's talking about. Somebody in here wasting your time. They give you this sham interview, as he says. And then you sitting here dealing with this ownership down here because they tried to label him as a disgruntled person. He doesn't get along with anybody, but they were sitting here asking him to do illegal stuff. Everybody out here gambling on games, and they telling you to go out here and we're gonna give you 100 bands for you to drop games because we want to improve our draft pick. Then we want you to go meet with this player from another team who's under contract with another team. And if that gets out and it goes sideways, we're going to hang this around your neck too. So I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying again, we got another individual, and has been filed as a class action lawsuit, and they're doing interviews to see what other coaches want to get involved on this. Hey, we'll see how it plays out. But again, at the end of the day, say it's 2 years from now, 3 years from now, who knows whether or not this man wins or if he settles out of court. But where does that leave him professionally moving forward? I think he's going to be done, and maybe even done at the college level, because you really can't be trusted. And you never know when the athletic director comes in and says, "Hey, we got this 5-star quarterback, and we that's the one piece that we need for a national title. Here's this briefcase or this bag. Get this to his family, and we need you to secure that. He has to be here. We can't leave this up to chance. We got to get him here to give us a chance to be in this." And then you sit here with your principles. Nah, man, I'm just go in here and do it clean. I'm gonna convince him to come here. And then things go wrong, and then you come back and say, "Well, hey, when I was there, they tried to get me to do this and that." I just don't know who can trust the brother, and it's not right. It's crazy that nowadays we getting to find out, with cell phones, with computers, with all of this stuff, with nothing that you do ever disappearing completely. It's a way to get back to prove all of this stuff. And then it's all kind of platforms out here. It's just messy right now. It's extremely messy right now. And, we'll see what happens. But I hate that this brother had to go through some of this stuff. I hate that a lot of these other brothers have to play the game. We know that Ted Cottrell was let go in Detroit when he was 9-7. We know that David Cullen, whatever his name is, down in Houston, we know that he just won 4 games with one of the worst rosters in football. And the other dude who they had to let go, he won 4 games with Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt. So maybe this dude is on to something. We know that Bieniemy can't get a head coaching job. It remains to be seen if Leftwich can get a head coaching job. I get it. But, a lot of us are playing games out here. A lot of us are being disrespected professionally. A lot of us, our time is being wasted. A lot of us are working for a fraction of what our colleagues make. It's rough out here, and I guess, shout out to him for being in a situation where he can go do something about it. And he can take that type of stance. Honestly, man, a lot of us just don't have it like that. We can't pick up and move. We can't relocate. We got a house we can't sell. We got $70,000, $80,000 of student loan debt. We got family members who have pre-existing conditions. You don't know if you take a job somewhere else. You don't know if the insurance is going to pick this up. You got some medication that costs $1,200 a month. to pay for. It's all kind of variables out here to where a lot of us got to do what we can do. You just getting dictated to, or you just getting dicked. Put it plain and simple. But we'll see what happens with the brother. Like I said, we all can stand up to everything that's going on in our world. He's the next in line to try to conquer that challenge. I wish him well, but I don't see it playing out well for the guy. And another thing, I saw somebody on, as I get ready to get off here, but I saw somebody on one of these on Instagram. It was one comment. It was like, what the F is going on in the National Football League right now? And it's been going on. Like, we already know this. It's been going on. What's up, Jelly Bean? Good afternoon. But what's going on? I'm just saying, if we're at a point, because I'm not really a proponent of just sitting here and doing nothing, but I'm just saying, you're getting to the point, if it's not going to be a clean break and a new way, a new place to, a new business, a new way to operate, I just see all this stuff continuing to go on. And I don't know that it's necessarily good for business, but you got a lot of people's lives and livelihoods tied up in all of this stuff. I think he'd get blackballed. Oh, no doubt. It's a wrap for him. It's a wrap for him. Like I was saying before, you might have checked in. I don't know how. I don't know how. I think in any job, in any line of work, in any enterprise or whatever, I think certain things have to be said and put on the table, and certain ideas have to be explored and talked about. They may be unethical, they may be amoral, they may be a threat to the public. It might cause harm or could potentially cause harm, endanger, loss of life to others, and so on and so forth. But things come up, and you got to have trust that, amongst the leadership. It's got to be trust in the room that we can talk about these things, and it's not going to come back to me and bite me. It's not going to be some whistleblower situation. So I think with him confirming that, hey, I don't play the game. I don't comply or conform. I just think, you can't go back. No other ownership, nobody in college football, nobody could sit here and say, hey, I'm gonna bring him in, and everything I say to this brother, it could get thrown back in my face at some point in time. I can't trust him. And when people can't trust you, so just same thing like Kaepernick. There was no place else for him to go. There was no way for him to go be a quarterback in any other league or start his own league or start his own. It was a wrap for him. And the same thing here with Brian Flores. I think the dude could have done some great things in the NFL. And I just think, unfortunately for him professionally, that's over with. And then I think, to possibly have a guy here in a few years that we could have said, is only the second or the third black head coach to win a Super Bowl or whatever. I think he was that caliber of a coach, but all of that goes away. And I don't know what on the other side of this. I don't know, but maybe he sleeps well at night. His name is his name. His word is his word, and that's all that matters. Like I said, a lot of us, we can't be that bold. We can't be that strong. And so vicariously, I know, maybe a bunch of us just got to root for him and look in the mirror, and whether we mean it or not, but say we would have done the same thing when we know damn well we wouldn't have. Anyway, let me get on out of here. Thanks for those that checked in. My Washington Commander team. That's pretty painful. The Commanders. Anyway, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.